Wow, it really does pick up everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Okay, wow. Yeah. So, SoulTies, the podcast where we take your soul, talk to it, comfort it, and hopefully befriend it. She's Robin.
And he's Aiden. Happy New Year and welcome to SoulTies episode 5. I am so ADHD.
ADHD.
Please don't tell me you tried to
that.
speak. You tried to speak at the same time as me online.
Ooh.
You're funny.
What?
You tried speaking at the same time as me online.
Oh, what do you mean?
I could hear you saying all the lines on the other side.
Well, no, I was. Wait, was I?
A little bit.
A little bit? Okay.
A little bit.
Wow, amazing.
Anywho.
Yeah, well, we've missed you guys, and we hope to not miss too many more Fridays with y'all, because we missed
This
it enough.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
oopsies. This episode, what are we talking about?
What are we talking about? We're talking about something that's been in both of us for the longest time that only a select few are able to experience, and that's it's ADHD. Yeah. If you couldn't tell by the title, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We asked you on Instagram to comment some questions you have about ADHD/ad. I refuse to call it ADD because I read it as ad. We were talking about this the other
just
night.
Like in your head, it's
ad.
It's spelled ADD. Ad.
Yeah, ad. Attention deficit hyperactivity or hyperactive disorder.
Yeah.
Or attention deficit disorder. And you guys kind of delivered on the questions. You kind of didn't.
Yeah.
You guys?
We do have an Instagram, guys. So,
yeah.
Which we will plug at the end of this. If you want to skip to that, sure, go ahead. But I think you guys should just stick around.
At SoulTies Podcast, you guys should follow it.
Podcast.
We'd love if you guys could interact with all of what we're doing. It really helps us out. Even if it's just like really stupid or whatever, we don't think it's stupid. We just see it as you guys.
I think some of them are stupid, but we pick the fittest, yeah. And maybe yours could be the fittest. So why not?
So Aiden, do we want to start with questions or do we want to give a little bit of a background? I feel like we should start with questions just to kind of get us in the role of things. Okay.
Okay, well, first of all, for the guys that don't know, this is our first time ever recording through, not together in the same room. So you won't be hearing too much of Mr. Graham screaming at us to put our masks on, or Jalen randomly opening the door to see what's up with us.
Yeah, we wanted to give a bit of a background on our breaks, but I don't think we'll have enough time. The last time we updated you, we checked the stats. None of you wanted to listen to that, and you either skipped that part or stopped listening.
Y'all are idiots. Why do you?
We're actually just berating our audience this episode. I'm sorry, guys. We love you. We love you guys,
but we also hate you guys. It's just that kind of relationship, yeah.
Of course. Love, hate,
Yeah, we hate to love, but we also love to hate.
Exactly. But no, we genuinely do love you guys. We'd love if you could listen all the way through. It just honestly, if you guys can help us with engagement, that would be amazing.
It would be amazing. It'd help us out, and it would give you guys some control on what we do with our podcast.
We'd love some suggestions if you guys want shout outs, like if you want us to shout out your Instagram, your name, whatever, we can do little challenges and stuff like that if you guys would be interested. I know that I see that happening in a lot of YouTube videos.
Fame, yeah.
Exactly, a little 5 seconds of fame. Can you hear my tap going in the background right now?
Your tap? No.
Yeah.
You're actually really quiet. So I can't really tell if I'm talking over you or not.
You kind of are. You can turn me up if you need to.
Oh, yeah, sure. I'll turn you up just a little bit more. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
There
I
you
just
go.
hope my mic doesn't, hear yourself.
LOL.
Lamau, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I can hear myself.
Oh, you can?
Just a little bit.
Okay. All right. I'll turn you back down a little bit. Here, try it again.
Okay, here we go. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
1, 2,
again, if you
3.
guys couldn't tell, this is our first time doing this.
Yeah. On top of that, too, Aiden and I are both getting over colds, sicknesses, whatever
yeah.
this week. I caught the flu. What did you catch?
I caught some hands. No, I'm joking.
True.
Yeah, true. Yeah, no. I was really sick like during that the second week of the break, and I was bedridden most of the time. And
Yeah.
this week I thought I was like I thought I was doing pretty well. Getting better. I did have
But it's
like the
gone up and down.
occasional headache. Yeah, and today I actually ended up fainting.
Yay.
Yeah, fun. Yeah, I was just like over top of the of the toilet because I thought I was gonna like throw up, but I ended up like 2 seconds later. Well, I thought was 2 seconds later on the ground.
Yeah, you don't realize how much you time travel when you pass out or are on the verge of passing out.
No,
It's like time.
It's like sleeping,
speeds up.
but not intentionally.
Exactly. It's kind of scary.
It's like what is it? It's like being in the car, a long car ride, and you fall asleep. You never know how long you're in there, but you're like just
Exactly.
like you're fast traveling through time.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you're there.
Exactly.
I really hope my mic isn't buzzing because I'm moving the cord. Oops.
I'm shaking a lot.
Yeah, I have the chills today. Yesterday I had a fever, but today I have the chills.
Yeah, no, I still have my headache still hasn't really gone away. It's been like this for the past like couple days now.
Yeah, I was telling Aiden I had a headache throughout my cheeks. Like it was like in my sinuses.
It's not good. I don't know. Like what do you do?
It felt like a board. I couldn't do anything. Like I had ice under a cloth that I'd put on my cheeks, and that would kind of help temporarily. But you can't really, like, considering it was like 4 a.m. Like I woke up at 4 because of it, and then I couldn't get back to sleep until about like 7 something. And considering it was so like early, it's like you can't really do anything because you can't keep the cloth on your face so it doesn't hurt. But then you can't fall asleep either.
Were your sinuses cleared?
No. I've been so congested. Like I didn't have a sore throat in the way that you normally have one. It was more just like I had so much mucus and congestion that it changed the way I sounded. And like even now I sound a little congested. Like I don't know if you can hear it, but it's not as bad as it was like the last 2 days.
I can still hear it. 4 days. I'm just a little bit nasally, that's all.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, just a tadness bit.
Yeah, I've become a mouth breather.
No, Robin.
I know. My jawline's gonna go away.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just talked about how we weren't gonna give a background, but we're giving a background right now.
Oh shoot! Whoops. So, anyways, let's talk about these questions here that we have in front.
Yeah. Moving on to the questions.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Did you want me to? Okay. ADHD. So we're just gonna really read through the questions that we picked out from our Instagram that we posted, which you guys should, again, interact with, please. So did you both growing up ever feel like you had problems that ADHD or AD bring?
Bring.
Yeah, bring.
Do you want to answer first or should I?
You can go ahead. Yeah, sure.
Okay. I definitely did. Did you both grow up? I didn't realize it was ADHD or ADD because I wasn't aware I had it until 2 years ago. I got diagnosed when I was 15. Yeah, 15. And I'm 17 now. So there were a lot of questions there's a lot of things I struggled with in the classroom, like paying attention, talking too much, like the classic symptoms you see in girls. But then on top of that too, girls with ADHD specifically tend to develop OCD as well, and I have been diagnosed with the OCD as well, and I think those two really played a lot in school because
correlate, yeah.
Exactly. Like I always felt like I consider myself to be a very intelligent person, but in classrooms I've always been kind of like the shortest giant because I was working so hard to keep up with my classmates and my friends that I was surrounded by, specifically in like K to grade 8. They're all really smart girls, and it was very frustrating for me because even though I was working really hard, if not harder than, like really hard, if not harder than them all. Not to say that they didn't work hard, but I was definitely spending more time studying and doing my homework only to get grades that were below theirs. And it was really, like, I think overall it was really hard not to compare myself to other students because I felt like I was on the same level as them, but the work I was getting back and my grades weren't on the same level, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I get that. What is it? There is a spectrum to ADHD, right?
No, yeah, definitely. It's like the best way to explain it. Oh, go on.
No, I was just gonna ask, like, what were they?
What do you mean? What were they?
Because I know there are like some key things in ADHD.
Okay. Yeah, okay, I get what you're talking about now.
Like
think of every symptom of ADHD as a switchboard, and ADHD symptoms.
Because there's hyperactivity, there's the inattentiveness.
Yeah, so
and impulsiveness. There we go. Those are the three. Those are the three main ones.
So there's two types of ADHD: inattentive and hyperactive.
Impulsive,
I think
yeah.
I think Aiden and I probably have inattentive. You can also have combination where you have more inattentive and more hyperactivity symptoms. Think of every symptom. Think of every symptom though as a switch on a switchboard. So each symptom can be high or low, and you're kind of rated on, like, you can refer to yourself as lower, mid, high functioning depending on the average of all those symptoms. So for example, like, I'm higher functioning. So
I guess I'm lower functioning.
I don't know. I'm looking into getting re-diagnosed because of other things, and originally when I was diagnosed, I've been categorized as higher functioning, but I was talking to my doctor, and him and I were having a conversation, and he's like, you've also learned how to cope with your symptoms because you were never diagnosed early on in life, so there are a lot of things that are kind of being masked that may have gone.
That is the opposite for me.
Under the radar.
Because even though I did have it for the longest, I was actually diagnosed just last year, right?
Yeah.
We both got diagnosed pretty late. What is it? Yeah, no. Like you, I guess for you, it's like you were able to accommodate yourself with these symptoms, and were able to like kind of live with them and figure out how to deal with them, right? I did not. Kind
of. It's more like they kind of festered, and because my entire family has ADHD, the habits I had just went unnoticed because, well, everyone has ADHD and no one wants to kind of address it. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I definitely did not have good coping mechanisms, though.
Oh, yeah, no. Like, it's really...
Continue, I'm listening.
I'm just kind of looking back at my work at ethics. Etiquette?
No, yeah, I think you said it. Work ethic. I think that was right. I was questioning it in my head as well.
I was too after you said that. I was
ethics.
Like, yeah.
Ethics.
Ethics. because it's like I don't think I ever really had the best work ethic, and
Yeah.
that definitely has something to do with just having ADHD.
And it doesn't help too. So, from what I've understood from my research, ADHD kind of stems from a dopamine
Deficiency,
dysregulation in the brain, deficiency.
It really depends, right?
Deficit.
Mhm.
So these terms are quite overused in media now, but there's hyperfocusing and
Yes.
whatchamacallit, not being able to focus. And so when you're hyperfocusing on something, it's because your brain is releasing a lot of dopamine because you're doing a task that, it's like, well, in this moment, your brain really likes it.
Yeah.
So you end up just wanting to do it, and it's almost addictive. And then when you're...
And on the opposite side of that, it's like you have a lack of dopamine for everything else.
Exactly. Like, you just have no interest in anything.
Yeah, that's the reason why. Like, you would usually see people with ADHD doing a lot of things, or like trying to do a lot of things at once, because they're trying to find that dopamine.
Exactly. It's like chasing after that dopamine rush. It's just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. It's amazing. It's
usually our brains are heavily understimulated with that. It's like, yeah, and you're just trying to find that, right?
Exactly. It's really interesting, honestly.
It is.
I think we should move on to the next question. Yeah. Oh wait, did you answer the question?
I answered.
I can't remember. Did
you both growing up ever feel like you had problems? Oh, I see. Yeah, again, I had no clue it was ADHD, but I definitely did have problems. Like I knew apparently a bunch of my teachers kind of like thought or just assumed that I did. So I remember just during a bunch of my parent-teacher interviews, which I had a lot of. It's like I guess a couple of them like talked to my parents about it. But it's like I guess what it was is like they were just like my parents were just kind of waiting to see if I would be able to just kind of work with what I have.
Yeah, I always used to get comments on report cards, I remember, especially when I was like younger, about either talking. Sorry, I just swallowed my own spit and it like I
mucus or
choked on it a little bit. No, just spit. Don't worry. Okay. Don't worry. But I used to get a lot of comments on report cards about talking too much, which is a symptom seen in girls, and you kind of just reminded me of that. That like I always got comments about talking way too much.
Yeah, same.
And that's a form of hyperactivity, specifically in girls, because I don't know if it's a stereotype or a proven fact or whatever, but girls tend not to be as bouncing off the walls hyperactive, but that's not to say that they can't be, because we definitely can be. Yeah, there's just tends to be some differences.
I remember getting those comments on my report cards too. It's either what is it? It's either you're what is it? Yeah, what you were saying, where it's like, oh, you're talking too much, or it's like you're not paying
Robin
attention.
is great in collaborative work. She struggles with independent work, though. I would encourage her to try being more independent with her work and not talking with other peers.
Yeah, I've always been pretty terrible with independent work. I work a lot better with people.
I agree. I like bouncing ideas off, because I find when I spew 10 different ideas at people, they can kind of organize them better than I can.
Exactly.
So it's like I think I have great ideas, but I just don't know how to organize them as well as other people, I think.
I just kind of like hearing other people's ideas, and for them doing the work that I don't want to do. I'm an ideas man.
So, yeah. But moving on to our next question, are you on medication?
Am I? Not today, but yeah, I do have medication. Like I was actually that's probably the reason why I ended up fainting today, is because of the medication. It's one of the symptoms, like one of the big symptoms, is like suppressing your appetite. And
the fact you didn't eat.
Yeah, the fact that I wasn't like eating or
Yeah, just to clarify, it's not the medication itself that made him pass
Yeah,
out.
no.
It's one of the symptoms of the
having
or side effects.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, are you?
I was a month ago.
Oh.
I'm right now doing trials for medication. I basically reached the point where I've been trying to learn coping mechanisms and advocate for myself and find accommodations. But I'm to the point where I'm doing everything I can, and it's just not getting me on the level of neurotypical people.
Mm-hmm.
Like we'll always be neurodivergent, but to get on that level where we can cope with a neurotypical world is very difficult, and I have been struggling with that even with my accommodations. So I'm in the middle. This was a very long answer really for a very short question.
Yeah, because
but I'm sorry. I'm in the trial. No worries. I'll finish this last sentence. I promise. I can do it.
No. I'm sorry.
I'm finishing. No. Don't worry. I just can't seem to finish the sentence.
No. Okay.
I am I'm in the process of finding a medication that works for me.
Yeah, because I remember. Your last one wasn't going too well, was it? Yeah,
my last the first one I've tried. It's
she turned into me.
I won't say what it is. I don't want to talk. I think it was worse.
She turned into worse than me. That's a bit
my
hard
doctor told me
to hear that you turned worse than I am.
Yeah, it's very. My doctor basically told me that if you experience any sort of feelings of suicide or self-loathing, like just where you just feel awful, or the side effects are just too much, to stop taking it. Yeah. And after the first week or so, I started experiencing a lot of self-loathing, and self-loathing turns into I don't want to go into detail or anything. Like, I'm okay, and I was okay, but I was like, okay, I don't like the way I'm feeling. I don't like the thoughts that I'm having that are turning up. So I'm not going to take it. So we're going to schedule another appointment with my doctor, and we're going to try a new one.
When you were on them, you seemed very
and it's a trial and error. I was very slow. Yeah. Not like stupid slow, but like I couldn't believe how quiet my mind was. And I was just kind of sitting, like I remember I was sitting with Aiden one day, and I was just sitting there like watching and observing and listening, and it was like,
that's how I live.
I'm focusing on a lot right now.
That's how I am most of the time. So it's just like it was really interesting to watch myself in her.
Yeah.
Because what is it? My house is so loud right now. I don't know if you heard my fridge is like just start humming, and now my dad's phone is going off. If you hear him in the background,
all I can hear is the phone. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What is it? Yeah. No. Actually, what is it? Oh yeah. No. This is basically the next question. Like, do you feel different now, and have you changed as a person because of the medication?
Yeah, I guess we're answering that.
We're kind of answering that now. What is it? With my medication, actually, what it does is that because I'm very much like Robin on her medication, where it's just like you kind of just sit there and are very content, if we put it that way,
observant.
And you're just like there. Medication I have basically makes me more proactive with my thoughts, and it gets me off of the couch, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more hyper focusing with it.
Makes sense.
And it's not really the best, as I'm pretty. Yeah, we talked about this briefly in one of our other one of our other podcast episodes, right? We're talking about hyper focusing. And like, how some people think, oh yeah, wow, it's like a superpower. It's really cool.
Yeah, or like, we're gonna probably get into this again. I probably will, because I'm very passionate about this topic. Just the people who think it's quirky to turn it. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm hyper focusing.
It's almost like fetishizing. not fetishizing, but like idolizing.
No, exactly. Like, it's just like, it's not, it can become debilitating when, like, this is what I think you were going into. It's when you're focusing on something so much that you haven't gone to the bathroom or eaten in like 6
literally
hours.
me earlier, apparently.
No, exactly. Like Aiden
I
literally passed out, and it may have been from the medication or something else.
I was eating, or I was going to start to eat because I was hungry, and then I felt like I was gonna throw up on my first bite. So I went to the washroom.
Yeah, and I think
leaned over the bowl. Yeah, 2 seconds later, I'm on the ground, and then I was actually soaked, which wasn't really fun because I don't know how I ended up on the ground. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how I fell, but I just remember both my hands being like wet. I'm sure it's toilet water, so it was not fun. I took a nice hour shower.
Yeah, no, that's good.
No, but it I was just kind of in there in disbelief because I haven't like passed out like that in so long.
Yeah. It's hard to remember to eat too when you have ADHD, like medication aside.
Just basic necessities that a human should like not even have to think about.
Personally, I love eating, so it's like
it's not as
for me. It's not hard for me to eat. I'm not a slow eater. Aiden is a slow eater. I literally inhale food, but I can like when I'm at home specifically, I forget to eat a lot. Like today, actually, I think all I've had is yogurt and a coffee. That's not good.
Oh, actually, maybe it's the coffee does suppress your appetite.
Interesting. That's not good either.
I try to stay away from coffee. I only really have coffee at night because for some reason
coffee sets off my anxiety.
Yeah, no, coffee makes me a lot more calm. Makes my brain more mellow.
Yeah, I used to think that coffee, it's probably the reason I'm probably all over the place is because of my ADHD, and then I realized no, because stimulants are actually really good for ADHD. And then I learned that coffee is horrible for people with anxiety, and I was
I know, it's good you don't have anxiety.
That's where that comes from.
Yeah, so I mean that was kind of cool, like to learn that we basically have the opposite effects of taking coffee.
Not for me though, because I do have anxiety.
You do have both. I don't know how that works, but
that's why going back to the medication thing. That's why I'm gonna have a really difficult time with taking medication.
You have to deal with
because and the conversation I had with my doctor, like I said, it's like I'm not sure how this is gonna go because do I need medication for my ADHD because it's making my anxiety worse, or do I need medication for my anxiety because my anxiety is making the ADHD worse?
That's true.
Which is really complicated.
Which one did you take?
We're going to be bouncing between. This time I took one that is a hybrid medication. It doubles as a anxiety med and a ADHD med.
Maybe you should try just the anxiety part. I think that would be good.
Yeah, we're gonna go between a bunch. I don't think my anxiety is as bad as my ADHD.
I also thought I was eating enough.
I think I cope with. This is true, but like I think I cope better with my anxiety than I do cope with my ADHD symptoms.
Okay, that's fair.
So I'm gonna stick on one side because I'd rather just like stay organized with which side I'm trying. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because either way, it's gonna take forever to get there.
Yeah, no, I've been on the same medication since the start of it because I don't know. The only changes that's happened.
Sometimes it works out.
The only changes that I really did was just like kind of up the dose. Like I was on 10 milligrams before, now I'm on 30.
Yeah, because that usually tends to happen where it's like you find a medication that works and then eventually you kind of become quote unquote immune to it, so you have to up the dosage over time.
And what is it? I don't know. I feel like because I haven't been on it for a while, like I was only just starting to take it again, like this week, really. I think that's why I was so bad that I ended up not eating enough. Is because like the dosage is so high, and I have to kind of build up to it again. So.
Yeah. I think maybe you should set alarms for eating, not just every hour.
I do. That's actually what I started with. But then I was like, might as well just go every hour, and then have like certain times just say eat.
Yeah, but do you? I don't actually read the title of my alarms.
I mean,
do you?
If one of them says nothing and one of them says eat, and that's it. I mean,
I look for the snooze button.
I don't have a snooze button. Yeah, I took that out.
Okay. By the way, we have 8 minutes and 40 seconds left.
How wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah. We already answered, did the medication change your feelings of self-love? I answered that.
Wait, what was your answer to it? Did you?
The medication definitely did change how I viewed myself. I definitely felt a lot more insecure. And I was very upset over the idea of people liking me more if I'm on my medication. Which I think I'm gonna struggle with over time, because I really don't like the idea of people liking me more when I'm altered versus me naturally.
Yeah, that's fair. Because I mean, for me, I didn't really have a problem with that, because it's like I already had like my close friends before going on to my medication, so it's like if I do, I don't think there's gonna be too much change. So yeah, I mean, what is it?
What about yourself?
Changed my feelings of self-love towards me. It definitely gave me like a confidence boost when I was on it, because I mean, the first time I took it, I had like a panic attack, and then went on my day to clean the entire house. So I mean that was kind of interesting, and then going into school with that for grade 11 was really good, because it's like I was able to get a lot done. But then my like I said, my basic needs weren't being met, like eating a lot more and all that, because I already didn't really eat as much as I needed to, and just going on the meds wasn't the best. So it didn't change my self-love. I still kind of love myself for being me, but
that's good.
Yeah, me too.
I'm glad.
How can I support my friends who have ADHD? How can we do that?
I think you can do that. Like the biggest one, we were looking at articles for this. I think the biggest one is to
there were 2 articles we were looking at. One of them was more towards the fact that you kind of
The one I brought up, it's from it's from a website called Attitude, so ADD. I love it.
AttitudeMag.com.
Yeah, and it was more about like coexisting with people with ADHD and how to like just building your relationship and maintaining a relationship with people with ADHD.
And then the other one is more of like moral support, kind of.
Yeah, it's like haha, don't blame them for like I liked it, but it was very funny. Exactly. No offense. But the one thing I really liked about that seemed to be a common theme was just being patient.
We need patience.
One of the common themes, common symptoms of ADHD is short-term memory, and just like you're all over the place constantly. There's so much noise in our heads that yes, you've maybe asked us to do something and you said it clearly, and even though we may have heard you and sometimes we don't, we don't always remember, and if you have to tell us a couple thousand times, it's not because we're not listening and we don't care about you. It's because we honestly just forgot, or it wasn't on. There was just a million other things going on in our head.
I hear that a lot from my parents, especially how they have to like tell me constantly about things, and I get frustrated at myself.
Yeah, and it's like the amount of times I've heard, I don't want to have to ask you twice. Like that line is like it really it breaks my heart.
It's just annoying to me.
Yeah, no, it's really difficult because it's not like we're actively trying not to do something or not to listen. It's just happening. So being patient. What are some of the other? Oh, please don't give us unsolicited advice. It's just annoying.
No, I mean, we'll figure out how to deal with ourselves. We wouldn't want you guys to like tell us how to change ourselves like that because it's already hard enough for us. And
exactly, because
I don't mean to sound rude or anything, but it's like most people won't know what it's like to be in our shoes.
No, exactly. Like, I don't mind receiving advice from other people with ADHD
exactly. It feels more comforting
and whatnot, but like, if you don't have ADHD, if you're not a professional, and if you're not a professional, then I really don't care. But to put it simply, another thing is don't hide your feelings and communicate with us. If we're talking over you, if if you feel we're being well, obviously sometimes there's something with noise level where people with ADHD sometimes just don't hear how loud
the amount
they're
of times
being.
I've been at my friend's place and their mom comes down and telling me to turn it down a couple notches.
Can you just turn the volume down a little bit?
And it's
Thank you.
whoops.
Exactly, but
be straight up, but don't be a dick about
just
it.
Communicate.
I mean, don't be mean about it.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm not gonna do any editing for this episode. Fine. I'm sorry, I'm too tired to actually do it. So whatever's in here is staying. But honestly, I think that's the best advice we can give is just be honest, communicate with us, be patient. Like, we appreciate your patience, even if we don't say it. Also, set boundaries. It's good to set boundaries with everyone.
Yeah, sorry.
Like, if you need to set boundaries with us specifically, do it. Go for it, please.
Again, if you have a problem, just communicate to us, man. We're not that mean.
And we'll answer these last two questions quickly. Pet peeves surrounding ADHD.
What does that mean?
Rapid round. Yeah. Pet peeve.
What bothers me
like what
having
bothers
ADHD?
You around ADHD? Are there symptoms? Are there things about other people? Surrounding, not having. I'm sorry, not having surrounding ADHD. Is there anything that bothers you?
It really annoys me when I tell someone. Sorry. Okay, I'm sorry.
We have 1 minute left.
It just kind of annoys me when I tell someone that I have ADHD and they start treating me different. Like I don't know why they decide to do that, but
or when people dismiss your symptoms.
About that.
Like, oh yeah, sometimes I can't focus too. Oh my gosh, yeah, sometimes I get obsessed with things too. Oh my gosh, yeah, sometimes loud noises bother me too. Oh my gosh, sometimes I don't like the feeling of this either. Yeah, like, this isn't just something that happens once a week thing. This is like an everyday, every hour
obviously,
occurrence.
So some are a lot more than others on certain days, but it's like
exactly. Yeah. Like, we don't just get to choose when we decide it's fun to have ADHD. Like, no, sorry, I'm being a little petty about this one. So I guess we can kind of relate on that. And then last one, getting diagnosed late. How do you think that impacted you? Speed round. The timer just went off.
How did that impact me? I wasn't able to get a good work ethic. because I never really learned how to do that.
Oh,
And no one
yeah.
really showed me how to deal with that
Yeah.
properly, other than screaming at me every time
Yeah.
I don't do something.
Yeah. The symptoms that we've had all our lives, because it's not an ADHD isn't something you develop. ADHD is
You're born with
something
it.
that
It's genetics. Yeah.
yeah, you're born with. Yeah, it's oftentimes hereditary. So the habits that we've always had were never like I'm gonna say we didn't get the chance to correct them because we didn't know what they stemmed from, and it's hard to correct a habit where you don't know what the source is, because then it just comes back or it manifests in other ways. So like I definitely share the same thing like on work ethic.
Yeah, me too.
I have a horrible
it's really
work ethic.
bad. I try to work. I try to work on it sometimes, but it's like there's not much you can do.
Mm-hmm. Anywho, so that was that 40 minutes went by.
Yeah, it went by a lot faster than I expected.
Yeah, maybe we're on the verge of passing out and we just time traveled.
Yeah, so I mean,
Anywho,
this has been SoulTies. That is SoulTies. That is right.
SoulTies podcast. Please follow us on Instagram. Once again, SOS. Oh, I can't spell it this time. SoulTiespodcast.
Yes.
SoulTies podcast. The podcast where we take your soul, talk to it, comfort it, and
we love you guys so much. We hope to see you in these future Fridays. Thank you so much again. Yeah. We hope you don't leave again.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Craig, leave.
Come on, Craig. Give me a second.
Craig, leave.
I had to put the block command in and I forgot.